Yo, what up? It's your boy, MC Franco Magdalene. I'm doing this video because I have a major album announcement, and God decided for me because, He's the one I obey, He's the one who governs my life. But I decided I'm gonna do two warm up albums, you know, before I start working on the third of the trilogy of my double length albums dedicated to the Virgin of Guadalupe. And the first one is going to be called Street Catholic 3 The Reparation. And this is going to be the final album of the Street Catholic trilogy. So I'm going to retire from calling my albums with that name. And even though that's what I am, but the albums are no longer going to be called that. So, and that's going to have the raw underground sound, but only in a unique sound, just like every other one of the Street Catholic ones. They both had a unique sound of the raw underground, soul bass and everything, but there's going to be a lot more choir and everything. And, you'll see, just cop it on Bandcamp, which is where it's going to be. All my music from now on is going to be strictly on Bandcamp. All my future music, that is. But everything that I've already released, don't worry, it's going to stay on YouTube, Spotify, iHeart, Apple, Deezer, whatever you use, whatever DistroKid puts it. It's all going to stay there. Don't worry, I'm not going to end my subscription with DistroKid. I'm going to keep paying my yearly fee just so they can keep all the things I release. But I'm just not putting anything new on there. It's going to be on Bandcamp. And, I can actually sell actual albums, not physical, but digital albums they can put in your, in your personal fan account on Bandcamp. For those of you who don't know how to use it, I'm sure there's plenty of you out there. And a lot of my fellow Catholic rappers are on there too. So that's how I found a lot of their stuff, and how pretty much because I was looking for Catholic rap at one time. But I found a lot of it there, and I'm thankful for that. And I feel it will be a better fit for me. And then if I can make just a tad more money and everything, that would be great. But I recommend any albums, either for me or anyone else, you can stream them, even though we don't get paid for streams there. But you can stream them to make sure you like it before you spend money on it. Don't worry, I'm not going to charge as much as a actual CD store did back in the day. I won't do that. So you'll see. And then any singles, it's automatic $1. But this album, is going to be on there. And now moving on to my second warm up album, it's going to be tall. No, not tall. Excuse my tongue twister. I'm filled with those. But here, it's going to be called Too Catholic for the Age. It's pretty much going to address like all the stuff that we traditional Catholics have been going through and everything, and then worldly ways, everything going on in the church and all around, but not all of us, we just got to stay faithful to our holy church, which is our mother, and this is when she's in trouble like this is the last time we turn our back on her, so we must never contemplate doing that. But but that one is also gonna have a lot of choir in it, but that one is gonna have more West Coast sounding, just like my last two double lengths, Sacrosanct Jesu and Panis Vitae, both in unique ways, because of course, just in case you notice, none of my two albums sound exactly the same, at least beat wise. Hopefully my lyrics, but I pretty much just spit what God tells me to spit. But that's what I'm going to do on my records, But those are the two before the Virgin of Guadalupe double-length album, are going to be warm-ups. So that's what it's going to be. And I'm going to start working on the first song of Street Catholic 3, The Reparation. Recording it, that is. I already got the beats and all the lyrics written down, so all I got to do is record. So for that album, just give me at least a couple, about 2-3 weeks, at the least. It could be sooner, but just give me at least that, because, I have other things. I have, I'm really active in my faith. I do adoration time and mass times, confession, all that. And plus, I got my little hairballs, which I call me niños, which I sort of picked that up from you, Nico, which is what you call your son, but niños, my little hairy niños. But I gotta take care of them, and plus, and all my friends on Facebook, I'm sure you've seen my stitchery and everything. I gotta take time to do that, and I also like to crochet Afghans too for all the needy, which I'm surrounded by them, and they really touch my heart. And I always make blankets and everything for them. So not trying to brag. I'm just telling you I can't. That's also what's going on. So those are the reasons why I can't like do music day in and day out. So but just give me some time because I got important stuff. But then I'm really looking forward to doing these albums because this is a really big step in my career. So so just keep me in your prayers, and y'all are in my prayers too. Here, let me pata release, Spiritus Sanctus. Peace of Christ be with y'all.